cannot remember the last time a show had me literally on the edge of my seat the way this one did. Hello beautiful people and welcome back to my channel. Okay, so today, as you can see by the title, I am bringing you guys a series review. And today we're going to sit down and talk a little bit about the K-drama, The Frog. Let's get started. Listen, I remember when the trailer for the show came out and I watched it almost immediately and I was like, okay, I don't think I'm going to watch the show because it doesn't seem like my cup of tea. And that was an accurate observation, right? But then I ended up watching it because a certain person by the name of CHANYEOL is in the show. I didn't know he was in the show when I watched the trailer because he does not appear in the trailer. But then when I found out that he was, I said, listen, he was the reason I ended up watching the entire thing. Which should give you an indication of how much of a fan I am of Park Chan-yeol because he does not even appear in most of the show. But before I go on an entire rant about Chan-yeol, come I tell you what the show is about a little bit, just a young synopsis, okay? So in this show, we have two separate stories that happen at the same time in two different timelines that meet in the middle as the show progresses, right?
미친놈이 왔다 갔어요. 저희 모텔에도 지금 미친놈이 와 있어.
So the show goes back and forth between the past and the present, and the present story is the main story of the show, and it follows, hold on, I had my laptop out today, okay, so I can have these names because if you watch my Emily in Paris trailer reaction, you know, to me and names are sometimes not the best of friends. So in the present, we have Jeon Yeong-Ha. So I will murder these names, but bear with me. And he is the owner of a guest house type of establishment, and it's doing pretty well, right? And then one day, this lady named Yoo Seong-a arrives to this establishment, books into it, and she arrives with this little child. His name is Ha Si-hyeon? Something like that. And they stay for a while in this establishment. I think they stay for a day. And the next day, when Mugele checks out, she checks out by herself. So it's like, where did the child go? And then when we jump to the past, we have a very similar story where there's this family, so husband, wife, and they have a son. And they ran this motel. And in this motel, a tragedy happened in this motel that ruined the reputation of this motel to the point where it had to close down, and they've never recovered from the traumatic experience of that day/night where everything went crap in the motel. And so we just see these two stories happening more or less at the same time. They jump back and forth, and it's just a lot, and you're not quite sure how exactly these two stories meet. What is the link until, you know, the past meets the present, like the timeline slowly flows until the two meet in the middle. Listen, this is the best I can try and explain this show because it is a lot. It is a lot to take in. It is a lot. It's also, in my opinion, shot very weirdly because they don't necessarily tell you, oh, we're jumping back between the past and the present. You sort of have to put the pieces for yourself. And that's the thing with the show. A lot of it requires you to think. A lot of it requires you to put the pieces together for yourself. They don't give it to you just straight, you know? So you gotta use your little noggin to put everything together. So now Yoo Seong-ha, the lady who came to the establishment in the present with the child and left by herself, she books into this place again a year later. And this time she's there just by herself, right? And let's just say, this lady is crazy. This lady books into this establishment and basically takes over. It really reminded me of Parasite, if you watch the movie Parasite, where that family just slowly infiltrates that house. She does the same thing. This lady made my blood boil because the smallest thing could tip her over the edge. The smallest thing is making her cause harm to so many people. I cannot stand this lady. I cannot stand her. Everybody seems to be fearful of her, which I get because a crazy lady you do not want to deal with, trust me. Oh, it's only 8 episodes by the way. Yeah, so very short and sweet. But yeah, this lady is, oh my goodness, she made my blood boil. Okay, girl, I'm not a violent person. Okay, I'm not a violent person. But I was out here chanting, Oti, do some damage here. Beat the living daylights out of this lady. No, because can you imagine running a guest house? Okay, a successful guest house. You are living your best life, money's coming in, people are booking and everything. And then one day, one of your guests come into your guest house, they book a stay, and they will not leave. Not only will they not leave, but they start changing things. This lady starts buying new furniture. She starts painting the outside of this guest house like it's her home. Could you imagine that happening to you? And while all of this is happening, there's this police officer called Yoo Seong-a, and she is sort of the main linking point to the two different timelines because she was a police officer during the case that happened in the motel, and right now she has her eyes on this case as well, so she's kind of the main linking point between the two. And I love that lady. She did what needed to be done, okay? And while all of this is happening, okay, I was sitting on the edge of my seat waiting for CHANYEOL to show up. Listen, even in the house they knew, okay, I was giving them status reports, being like, episode 1, still no CHANYEOL. Episode 2, still no CHANYEOL. Y'all, I was ready to see this man in action because I've never really seen CHANYEOL act. The only thing I've seen him act in was in EXO Next Door. And as an EXO fan, we all know EXO-Ls tried to erase that show from memory. But that was the only thing I've seen him act in, and I know he's been in a few other things after that, but I've never watched them. So this was almost like a debut for me. Okay, a lot was riding on this. I was like, CHANYEOL, please, Chama. When he showed up, honey, the scream, I screamed, I started running laps. You would think he was doing something significant in that point in time, when literally all he did was just appear and smile. And that was enough for me. He did so well though. I am so impressed. Plus he looked so cute with those little glasses. I was living. I was like, okay, CHANYEOL, I see you. Because like in EXO, okay, if you're an EXO fan, we know that Dio is like the actor of the group, and then we have Suho, you know. So CHANYEOL was trying to get a little action, and trying to get into the group, the little actors group, and me finishing the show the same day that his debut album came out. Listen, I was living life. And he did so well. His character, he brought it to life. He did what needed to be done. I mean, I feel like he still has room to improve, okay? There's definitely still room for improvement, but I'm happy with what I got, okay? I'm ready to see more of him on a larger scale, in bigger K-dramas, you know? Love me some CHANYEOL. Okay. Now back to the show, okay? For me, when I got to episode 7, I was like, okay, so what's episode 8 going to be about? Because it almost seemed like, okay, we've finished the story, pieces have been put together. But boy, oh boy, I was not ready. Episode 7 came guns. Episode 8 came guns blazing. However, I do have to say that if you do not take well to signs of blood, violence, you know, I'm talking, you know, then maybe stay clear of this one, because there is a lot of violence, there is a lot of blood, weapons, yeah. But if you're okay with that level of violence, you know, just seeing it in fiction, then go ahead. And they have this thing throughout the episodes where each episode starts the same, with this whole analogy. I now forgot, I'm gonna paraphrase it, but it was like, if a frog dies, something, does it make a sound, or is it completely silent? Something like that.
아무도 없는 숲속에서 커다란 나무가 쓰러졌다. 쿵. 소리가 났겠는가? 안 났겠는가?
And every episode starts like that, but with a different person asking that question. And I'm here for a good little, it's not a running gag, but I love things like that where it ties in with every single episode, something that's identical within every episode that's you expect it to happen after some time because you realize you see the pattern. I love that. Yeah, man, the frog was good. I would have never watched it if it wasn't for Park Chan-yeol, so slay Chanya! If you've watched The Frog, you let me know what you think. If you're going to watch it, you let me know if you are. Yeah, so I think that is it from me to you for now. So until next time, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, switch on post notifications, all that amazing stuff. Until next time, stay amazing. Bye!